Very well-known couple, not only in the Dallas scene, but also statewide because of your position, Roberto. How have you guys pursued the fight for equality as a result of the walkout?
In many facets, as you said, we've both been involved not only here in Dallas, but statewide, nation, international. And I'll take it at different levels. As a state representative, which is one part, one of the biggest things I've pursued is making sure that scholarships are available for kids to go to college. I'm asking that we set up centers for Mexican-American studies around the state. I passed a law statewide that asked every junior college to have a center for Mexican-American studies. This past year I passed a law that says that we should look into having every university have a center for Mexican-American studies. In Austin we fight very hard, and I've taken a leadership position in not hurting undocumented workers, students, parents. Fought very hard in keeping what's called the 10%, which says that if you're in the top 10% you get it automatically. That was done by other folks, and I have been a leader, active, very strong in making sure that we have that. So education is very big and very well. But so at the state level, state representative being there, taking a position, advocating. And not only that, working with other members and working together to make sure that we get help across the state for that. Aside from that, statewide, politically, I've been president of a group called the Mexican-American Democrats, and we fought hard to make sure that our issues get heard with education, immigration, bilingual education. I've taken it to a level, for example, I sent a letter to the president of Peru. And the president said, Mr. President, I encourage you to send a letter to the President of the United States, Bush, and ask for amnesty because there was an earthquake in Peru. And he did. So from all this experience, all this knowledge, you take it at the local, state, national, international. So from that experience, you use it to be able to help other people.
Silvana, the same question. How have you pursued the fight for equality as a result of the walkout? As an individual and obviously as the wife of a prominent state representative?
Well, for me, being so young during the walkout and the rise of La Raza Unida and the changes in Cristal, I'd never experienced what was previously in Crystal City. The attitudes had already changed. Not only the attitudes of those that didn't want the changes to come about, but the people that participated and benefited and then helped others. That's the environment I grew up in. So from I guess first grade on, it was just this it was empowering, and it wasn't something you read about or heard about in the news. You lived it, and that's what I experienced. And so I grew up with the idea that anything is possible. Like Roberto mentioned earlier, anything is possible. You can be anything, and you can reach your goals. So really, I was very sheltered. That's what I said, and I wrote about this in one of my essays. I grew up very sheltered among people whose main purpose was to teach me how to become empowered and how to become successful. So I've always had that very positive outlook. I've never ever felt, of course I have felt discrimination, and I have been discriminated upon, but I never felt any different than anyone, thanks to Crystal City.
Finally, Roberto, this is something that came to my attention recently. Can you explain about your position as a student school board member in Crystal City back in, I believe it was in 1974?
Yeah. One of the things that was implemented in Crystal City was to put high school students on the school board, not having voting power, but being able to be at the meetings, hear the discussion, whether it was for personnel, whether it was budgets. You know, the first time it ever happened in Crystal City, and I guess in the country, and what it showed is, you know, you can have power. You learn from that experience, and since then, aside from being a school board member, I've been president of UT Austin, been a state rep, and as a legislator, I've also been a part of passing legislation that allows for students to be on the board of regents for the college systems. So to me, it was something that nobody had ever done, and from then you learn that even though it's never been done, it's possible. And as Silvana said, you know, you grow up where it's not impossible. You can do it. And as Cesar Chavez said, or said in English, it can be done, si se puede.